Recording 101.
Welcome to the very first ever podcast.
We're finally doing it.
Finally, since October, we've been planning this.
October or November?
October. I have it written. It's 27th or 26th October.
Uh-huh. We're already terrible people.
Happy birthday, game defined. In November, we decided the name.
Yes.
But the first ever time we met was October, and then we did the.
We're like, now we'll get this stuff done in December, and then maybe by January we'll manage this. Don't worry.
Yes.
No,
we'll do it.
We failed terribly.
We had to start with the new year, but no, of course, it's not gonna work like that. So now it's 19th of March. Thank God it's a public holiday.
Yes.
We got the time to do it. But
actually, we're meant to record last Saturday, but shit happens.
Yeah. Fuck it. Shouldn't swear.
Nah.
Shouldn't swear.
We'll do a rating like 16 plus.
Yeah.
Please.
No,
parents do not.
My nephews don't listen to this.
We are a bad influence to your children. The gaming world is disturbable. Even worse, most likely. But anyway, this is episode 1.
Episode 1, number 1, version 1.0. No, I'm not gonna start that. I'm not gonna start that again. Anyway,
this episode is just gonna be long because we're being random just to start off.
Very random.
If you can't tell, we're being really nervous actually.
Most probably it's gonna be the worst episode we'll ever do. It's like the teaser in every first season.
And then we'll look back and laugh about
and
it.
say, what the hell were we thinking? But anyway, I think we're like a minute, 2 minutes and a half, 2 minutes.
We've already started off, and these guys don't even know who we are.
Introduced ourselves, so yeah. So I'm David, the casual gamer.
He's my little console pleb.
Yeah, console pleb. I'm not in the gaming industry, so my views will be very fanboyish, which I will admit to very, very early into the episode. I usually play third persons. I love third persons. I don't like Call of Duty much, but I'm not gonna mention. Should I say that? Fuck it, I did, and I said fuck again, and I just did it again. But don't worry.
As I shake my head.
First person shooters mainly, and third person shooters. Yeah, very casual gamer, roughly.
And actually, irony of it all, the last time we played something all together was Call of Duty.
The last Call of Duty that came
World War II
in December, yeah.
We had just gotten it, and we we rushed through the campaign together.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was the very first...
might I add cheesy as fuck.
Yeah. That was the very first game I ever played. I remember the first game I ever played was Call of Duty 1, when I was 15 years old.
Exactly.
And you and Chichru out there, on my shitty laptop, playing Call of Duty 1.
Being amazed with his laptop that had an ATI graphics card on this little thing. What was a beast?
Was it Windows 2000 or something?
I think he actually had it as a workstation because of his dad.
Of course. No, it wasn't my laptop. It was my father's.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's roughly me. And my counterpart, Mr. William Kauki.
I hate you. With a bloody passion. Before I go on with myself, this is happening because recently Malta actually had its meeting.
Yeah, the very first.
It was a talk related to YouTube.
Yeah.
Where Malta is actually kind of suffering at the moment because they don't get paid for the YouTube partnership program or anything. They only get money through ads. And when he signed me up, he decided to sign me up as William Kauki. And my surname is Kakiya. Please, world, notice me properly. Anyway, so yes, I am William Kakiya. Some Maltese friends of mine might know me as Kamadake, since I've been playing quite a lot in the past online games, with Maltese friends, 16, but I used to play along with my brother since I was a child, really. I can remember days playing Diablo 1 with my brother in the past. And the last game that It's like, the last game that I remember playing, for example, with him was a strategy game called Act of War. We were trying to fit in the last game we could before he was getting hitched.
Estia.
Yeah, we tried to squeeze in the last network games in the house before he was gone forever. And then after that it was like playing a lot of online Counter-Strike and then Malta Call of Duty.
And you have also experience in NetNow, setting up LANs and organizing LANs and all that.
Yeah,
the first LAN I ever went to was the one that you guys did. That you
Wonderland.
were involved in was Wonderland 2. The second one.
That was the Port Tommaso one.
The Port Tommaso one, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, 16. Talking about...
No, I was...
18
I was back then, Wonderland.
Was it?
Because I had just started university.
Alright. No.
Yes, because I remember going there to the next set of lessons. I didn't even sleep after a night of setting up.
Alright.
Definitely.
Okay. I'm gonna... It's one point that I'm not going to... Goldfish memory. So. Anyway.
But yeah, now we're just stuck playing games in our spare time.
Yeah.
We're still both...
After work.
Exactly. We're two very busy people with our full-time lives.
Yeah.
And we try to fit in games when we can.
We're noticing how old we're getting.
Exactly. But fuck it. Don't tell the audience that. We need to sound young and vibrant. We still have soul in us. And we decided that we want to actually talk about games in our spare time too. Yeah. Like, we enjoy them, we love talking about them, we like to shit on each other about them.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about them for a very long time.
Yeah.
Whenever we meet, so now we're just decided to start recording them.
Exactly, and Sir David here came up with the idea, let's do a podcast.
Let's give it a shot, Will, let's give it a shot.
You want to try?
But yeah.
And here we are, being really shit in our first episode.
Exactly. But we're recording. Doing the first step.
We started. Might as well. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Here with my Blue Label B.
We were talking about before how you came up with our nicknames or our aliases.
Yes. It's like that moment of, okay, what name? I'm pretty sure no one ended up, I'm going to use this as my name because I know. Like, you're not going to have that instant inspiration.
Exactly. No, I spent roughly a week, trying to decide what nickname I'm going to use.
And yours was Painful.
No, mine was Major Pain.
Yes.
The very beginning. Major Pain. It was because of the Damien Wayans film, Major Pain.
Alright.
It was showing on Italia Uno. And I'm hearing it in the background and I'm going, Major Pain. Major Pain. Okay. My father called me a Major Pain a few times. I agree. But yeah, and then that eventually evolved into Pain FTW.
Yes. How come it didn't keep and then the Major Pain, or it was
I'm not
just...
sure. I think it's because I went on to create my PlayStation account or something. It was used already, so I just did Pain FTW. It was the time.
I mean, if it was popular with that film, you're not gonna really...
No, exactly. And it fitted in well, Major Pain back then, because we had started that clan, the Ghost Soldiers.
Yes,
that?
You guys with your GS tag.
Yeah, exactly. So then it's sort of, I was the Major because I had created the clan. And everyone would be a rank below Major. So it worked well sort of in that way. No, but then I'm not sure. I was doing a user, I believe it was for PlayStation. I believe it was a PlayStation 2 or for Steam. And Major Pain was taken.
Maybe when you came to play Counter-Strike.
Most probably. And then it evolved into Pain FTW.
Ostra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kamadaki. I don't know how it ever came up. I don't even know what it means. The first
few
times. Really? First few times I called you Kamikaze. It's not Kamikaze.
And everyone coming up with Kamadaki.
Kamadaki.
Funny. Hate you.
I'm not very good with names if you've noticed.
No, but that was the dilemma of the nickname moment, where I think I can't remember which game it was where I really needed to pick a nickname. It was a game with my brother, because in fact I was discussing this thing with him, and I remember one of the first names that I was trying to pick was Reptile, because of Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
There's a guy who was Reptile, I'm like, I'll just pick this name. And I think my brother had told me this guy already uses this name. I'm like, shit, I want something different. I want something, I don't know, someone wouldn't typically use.
Mm-hmm.
I kept experimenting. I don't remember other names that I experimented with, but Reptile was definitely one of the names that I tried with. And, I mean, people know me as I watched, as some of you might know, I watch Japanese cartoons.
Yeah, so you're a big manga fan, eh? Yeah.
Manga, anime, is like what some people might identify me as a weeaboo. Japanese weeaboo.
And you're learning Japanese as well, no?
I'm actually going to lessons. The government actually had these lessons of lifelong learning. They classify them as. And I decided to give that. I already did Japanese in the past, private lessons with a friend online. And he ended up, he's teaching over there.
Right.
So after doing my masters, I decided to go back to learning Japanese.
Right.
But anyway, I was watching this cartoon, Tenshi Muyo. Obviously, as a young kid, I was enjoying it, one, for the action, and two, a lot of female protagonists. So as a boy, you're quite hooked.
the proper Japanese.
Exactly.
Double D animations.
Oh, no, it was quite honest.
Oh, quite honest. Very,
it wasn't exaggerated.
Way to put it, yeah.
And there was one spin-off series or season of this cartoon where there are these two guardian characters called Azuka or Azuka. I can't remember properly. And the other one, the proper name was actually meant to be, I think, Kamidake or Kamidaki. But I wrote it down as Kamadake.
Right.
And there was one episode I got really fond of these two characters because they were just these wooden guardians that said random phrases or shoot lasers out of this orb in their wooden statues. They were just these things floating around originally.
Okay.
Then there was one season where they turned into human characters.
Alright, okay.
And I became fond of them, actually.
Right,
They're like, wow, they're really cool, these guys. I really like them. And one of them was Kamadake, or Kamidaki, whatever.
Kamidaki.
And I took... At that time, I didn't care, as I wasn't... Exactly.
You made a mistake.
So...
You wrote the wrong... How to... It's a way of being sure that no one else copies your nickname.
Exactly.
Just misspell the name.
So, God only knows what I've been stuck with as a name, but I've remained as Kamadake. It is with the typo, and I've remained with the typo forever. Like, now I can't go back.
That's, yeah. Alright.
At least some people try to reassure me by saying that the first part of the name, Kama, is, I think it's actually a blade.
Alright.
It's like some Japanese
and
blade. It's like a scythe, kind of, similar to those hook blades. I think people might say, no, you're wrong. Of farming, those scythe.
Okay, like the reaping, like the Grim Reaper one. What's it called?
Similar, but hand size.
Sickle?
It's a handheld size, just to cut the wheat.
Alright, okay. Okay.
Just
out well.
Exactly.
Out very well.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like I have this blade that's part of my name.
Alright. We listed down some points to talk about.
Because we're trying to be professional, but so far we're already really doing well about this part. But anyway. I mean, some of the things that we want to do in this podcast is kind of like we're just thinking of talking about games that we've been playing, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe discuss some things that might have happened whilst we've been gone, and just blurt out whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's interesting is that now my friend here, David, has experienced for the first time Bloodborne.
What an experience!
And he's also now played Nioh. So it's nice to see that he's done the comparison between the two. He's not really... You didn't play Dark Souls, right?
No. I did, actually.
Which one?
I did start the first one.
Okay. Yes, you told me you got up to the bird and then...
10 minutes of it till you get picked up by this big giant crow after you try to kill that big boss. And just admitted with myself, just got to terms with my own
not
faults. I don't like these games. And just gave up on the whole genre in general. But then, the past week, I tried Bloodborne. It came out for free. Bloodborne 3.
Actually it was PlayStation Network.
Yes, exactly. It was a PlayStation Network free game. One of these monthly games. And I gave it a shot. I played maybe an hour till I figured out that it's not my type of game. I didn't really enjoy it. But then I
can remember getting messages from you like, what the fuck is this?
Uninstall. But then a colleague of mine came online and we played it together. It was a bit better. And I noticed that it's not the actual gameplay that I didn't like. It was sort of the gloominess and the dark side of it. I'm a very positive person, you know. I don't like Teletubbies, but stuff that's constantly bloodish and it's not really my thing. So
it is a very depressing kind
it is. Even
I mean,
sounds,
if it's anything like Dark Souls,
even the sounds, they're all that sort of sound. But then I heard of Nioh, which is very similar to Bloodborne, but it's not as dark. It's a bit more unforgiving, but I think it's a bit more skill based. I loved it. It has this sort of feel. It's same as Bloodborne, but unlike Bloodborne, you get to parry, you get to block the.
What's the setting first of all? Like, what's the difference in setting between Nioh?
It's totally different. I mean, Bloodborne, you're this hunter who's trying to purge a village from some god blood that has the side effect of turning people into monsters.
Right.
And Nioh, you're basically this. It's based on the only non-Japanese person, and I think in the 60s, who managed to become part of the Emperor's Shogun, who managed to become an actual samurai. I might be wrong about this, but it's what 5 minutes reading I spent on the game before I actually played it. Apparently there was this Irish guy who managed to become a samurai. The only one in history, apparently. You're playing him, but obviously the game is totally fictional. It's not true in any way, apart from this part that you're an Irish guy who's fighting in Japan. It's based during the Japanese Civil War. One of the Japanese civil wars, because apparently Japan in those times constantly had some sort of civil war. And because of the hate generated and all that, demons are spewing into the mortal realm, you know. No, it's good. I'm loving it. I mean, you get those minutes where you meet this giant boss, which I just beat this morning.
Yes, you had your first one. You finally did your first one.
You get to this ship, and there's just giant boss who's basically a giant demon with balls of chains and the ball and chain, everything.
Balls and chains.
Balls and chains, yeah. Strapped to his arms, which obviously he can move around and slam you with. So after spending a good hour and a half figuring out how to beat him, I managed to beat him. But no, it's rewarding. I'm loving it. I love it. It's although there's a lot of repetition in it. I don't know what it is. It just keeps on. It makes you keep on going and retrying it, and it, to me at least, was very rewarding seeing that big giant fall to his face.
In fact, one of the things you told me, I mean, not the scene. So in terms of controls, you told me that it felt more responsive as a game.
It is much more responsive. It's a bit more elaborate than
Dark Souls. I know that is kind of slowish, kind of. There's that sort of effort to turn and.
Yes, and I think it has more weapon diversity than Bloodborne. I'm not sure because again I didn't play Bloodborne that much, but there are some 6 or 7 different type of weapons in Neo. Plus there are 3 different types of stances that you have to use the weapon. So you have an upper stance where it's more focused on attack, and you'll take more damage, but you'll give out more damage. There's the middle one, which is sort of midway between attack and defense, and then you get the very defensive one, which is much quicker, easier. You take less damage, but you give out less damage. So it sort of gives another dimension to the same weapon. No, to me. I mean, as I said, I don't have much experience with these type of games, but I'm loving it.
Because that means like games like Nioh kind of reduced but I don't think it was a problem of difficulty that put you off Bloodborne.
No, it wasn't. I mean, fine.
Because Nioh, the little that I saw it over here before I came here for the recording, it's
not
still
easy.
It's not easy, and still feels like that there's a particular difficulty of learning the enemies.
Yeah. There's always that learning
trying to recognize that pattern before you can actually hit them, stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes it's best to retreat a bit to
and reset everything and
head on into
not lose the experience.
And every enemy is different. The way you need to go about beating them, it's different. To me, it's 5 stars all around till now for Neo. But
now we see how long it keeps you going. Maybe you finish it. Maybe you.
I might. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still very early in the campaign, so just unlocked the map and got to a new part of the map. So.
And the cave part that you showed me was new.
That's new.
That was exactly after the first boss, or.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Because then after the first boss, you get this map open. You choose where to go. Apart from the fact that on the map you get sort of this home base where you get the blacksmith and you get to forge weapons and attribute certain special skills to the weapons.
Immediately. There is a progression part, not just in terms of items, because there's a lot of looting.
Of course, yes.
But blacksmith is something you unlock.
Yeah.
Because I know you can get a blacksmith. In Dark Souls 3, you get a blacksmith immediately, for example, in the beginning.
Yes, when you go to... no, sorry, Dark Souls. Okay.
No, Dark Souls 1, no.
Right, okay.
Things aren't unlocked to you immediately.
No, right.
You just get left somewhere by a big crow and you're like, go, my son!
Yeah.
Kill. Or live.
Try not to die. Try.
Even though there was a stream of the guy not getting hit throughout the whole trilogy.
He played all 3 games, eh?
All 3 not games, getting hit once.
Not even
My
dying,
life is
not
a lie.
Getting hit. That was a feat. I saw the last 2 minutes or 3 minutes of that stream,
and he
just went mental after he did that.
Butt clenching.
Jesus Christ!
No, I don't want to start again.
I wouldn't imagine doing that. No, it's too tense for me. But yeah. That's it. Well, have you tried any new games lately?
Lately, I've definitely been playing This has been, I think, in a lot of people's high hopes, which is Vermintide 2, actually. Warhammer Vermintide 2. I really was looking forward for this game because I had played the one. I didn't finish it to completion, but it was fun for the moment. And it's been a while since we had like a 4-player cooperative game like Vermintide.
Alright.
I mean, the first time you're going to play this game, if you've played Left 4 Dead, you're going to recognize the formula. It's exactly kind of... The inspiration is there.
Do it. It's the same people that do Left 4 Dead? Or it's not related at all?
Interesting question. I actually don't know, because I know that the Left 4 Dead guys were working on Evolve before, which failed a lot, drastically.
I remember Evolve, yeah.
Developer is Fat Shark. And what did Fat Shark do? Escape Dead Island. What?
Dead Island. Dead Island.
But not that Dead Island. It's
No?
like a spin-off of it.
Alright, okay.
And Lead and Gold. And also Bionic Commando. Oh, that game. Yes, it's the Rearmed version. Ah, that game made me swear. So, I don't think it's the same, guys. No.
It's not the same guy, but has the same feel.
Yes. In fact, developers Turtle Rock Studios.
Okay.
Left 4 Dead. So, I don't think so.
No. Alright.
But, as you said, same feel. And, but obviously the setting is totally different because Vermintide is in the Warhammer universe, so you have a lot to mess around with.
Okay.
Obviously crossing your fingers that a Warhammer game doesn't get fucked up, because that's the kind of trend of you get an IP and please don't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But Vermintide didn't fail. It didn't fail in the first one, and the second one came more polished. It's more of the same of the first one, if you've already played it, but it's better. For example, one of the first things that I noticed was the difficulty. Some people were kind of really... This is the second difficulty.
Now we're back.
As a premise, because I'm not going to put the other part.
Right.
Basically, someone's laptop stopped. We tried to start recording again.
These are all teething issues.
Exactly. We started to record, but then my laptop wasn't recording.
Because you stopped it, yeah.
Bloody brilliant first.
Well done.
Oh,
Anyway.
Anyway.
Warhammer.
We're talking about Vermintide 2 last
Vermintide.
before we cut. So, I was talking about between 1 and 2. I
It's a
know that
universal
it was
lot of
about the
play.
difficulty rating, because in Vermintide 1, you'd be really confident about your skills and you're like, oh, screw this, I'm going to put up the difficulty. And everything's just killing you instantly. And that was because the difficulty was actually increasing the stats of the enemies against you, when instead of like just having that sort of skill gap to bridge the boundaries. It's not like when you start Call of Duty or Wolfenstein.
Mhm.
You increase the difficulty of the game and like you can still go through it as long as you're good.
Uh-huh.
No. Vermintide has a sort of loot system.
Mhm.
Also, you get items every time you finish a mission, and those items make you stronger.
Okay.
And you were meant to increase the difficulty once you've gained a certain level of strength.
Okay.
But no one told you.
Alright, okay.
So, in Vermintide, they kind of... The new one they did now, that if you want to do this, you need to have a certain power level.
Alright, okay.
But it's not just that. I mean, the actual game itself, initially, bloody difficult to even finish one mission properly. And this wasn't a case of get good. No, it wasn't. I think it would be my only negative mark about this game. When I started to play this game, and we were 3 of us, I mean 3 friends, plus maybe a bot or some unknown stranger, we were dying always in the first set of levels. And it was stupid. Because we're getting experience still, we're still getting items and so on. And every time you level up, you get a chest. And this chest is basically similar to a loot box system.
Yeah.
But you don't throw your credit card at it. EA. We'll talk about that later.
Future episode, most probably. Yeah.
And these chests will give you items based on your power level. So if the highest item is this level, you're going to either get a bit less or a bit more, and it keeps going like that. But the quality of the chest will also probably determine the quality of the item, like common, magic, legendary type of items. Anyway, very similar to if you played Diablo or World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
The color coded items.
Yes.
And until we finally got a set of weapons that made us slightly more powerful, we finally started to win some levels in Vermintide. which really, it's still fun. I'm still loving it. The characters have levels, as I said, and I have like a level 12 mage, or some people will know her as Sienna. She's the pyromancer kind of person, so she's going around with the stuff. The stuff lets her shoot either different types of projectiles, but she also has like one that shoots like a flamethrower.
Alright.
And she doesn't have ammo, unlike the other people who use ranged. But what she has is kind of like a charge meter. The more you fire, the more this overcharge meter grows. And if you hit the peak, she's hot.
Yeah.
It's the nervousness of the first episode.
Weirdo.
And as soon as she hits that peak, she blows up. She self-destructs. It causes damage, which helps sometimes in certain dire times. But
it causes damage to the enemies around you.
Yes. She literally blows up. But then you can resurrect her again. Like, just pick her up and she'll come back to life. But then what you have is when you die, when you lose health, when someone gets you back up again, your health, you get 50% back, but that 50% actually goes down by time. Unless you actually drink like a potion or use a medkit. And as soon as I became better with Sienna because I got these items, then kind of like we started to win finally. And in the beginning, the first difficulty of this game all of a sudden just became easy-ish. Like, now we're breezing through this thing. So now you start to ask yourself, okay, finally, how are we going to make this difficult? So first you go through that transition of, too bloody hard game, please stop. Why you do this to me?
Why you hate me?
Exactly. But constantly, there's no chance that you're going to win, which I think is going to be really discouraging for certain new players. They have to really push through it. It doesn't take long, that time of losing. But until you do, you have to bear with it.
Yeah.
Then we started to win in the beginning difficulty. And from there, we finally got to, like, we tried the next difficulty, which was veteran. Which is basically they're going to be, I don't know if they're going to be stronger. But for example, one of the things you don't get for sure is the healing potion. So they mess around with what happens in the game. In the beginning, for example, when you start, you actually have a healing potion available to use.
Yeah, right.
But in veteran, you don't. So you have to hope that you find one a bit early so that if people start to lose health or die, it's available for someone to use. Then, I mean, we found veteran fine now. I mean, we still lose. We started to unlock further maps. And now we're also playing back to the previous difficulty, recruit, so that we can do... So, it's based on loot again.
Yes.
And with that, you can do things in the map that you play to get maybe better quality of items. And to do that, there are like hidden items you need to find throughout the level. These are tomes or grimoires, they're called in the game.
Okay.
And what they do, the tomes occupy the slot where you'd have, for example, the healing potion. So if instead you were holding a healing potion, now you have to hold the tome. And there's another slot for a different potion. It's like the stat potion, I like to call it. You can either, it makes you faster or gives you more damage, or it increases, you have an ultimate attack, for example, and this is done by a meter. And there's this potion that charges that meter faster for you. But then the grimoire takes that slot and the grimoire also adds a penalty to you. Once someone has a grimoire, the total health, like the maximum you can have, reduces. So now your maximum is like 75%.
Alright.
So the game tries to get harder exaggeratingly for you.
Yeah.
In Recruit, it's not that bad. So I'm already kind of scared of what's going to happen as we go for the higher difficulty. And I know that one of the higher difficulties, friendly fire, is on.
Wow. Alright.
And me being, for example,
The
the battle
flamethrower
mage
of
who
the
blows
group.
up in the
Yeah.
middle of a fight.
Yeah.
That's not going to really help.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes on. The problem is, like, it's been a while since I played it a bit, actually. So I don't know if that level gap affects us or not.
Okay.
Especially with the items. Like, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Some friends have gone up. I know some people with the recent Monster Hunter World have had that complaint, like, I couldn't do anything this weekend because I had to do this thing. Look, all my friends already went up to that level. Who's going to want to do this
And
thing?
this is Monster Hunter that you're talking about. The one that just was released now. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, when we played some of the even in Recruit, when we played Recruit, there were people who were high level playing with us.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they were doing some item hunting, I don't know. But they were there.
Yeah.
So maybe that gap isn't as bad as I think it is.
Yeah, definitely.
But if anyone's looking for a really fun 4-player co-op with friends whatsoever, it's definitely recommended. And even for the price. The price is actually quite amazing for nowadays. I think it was like €25, 29.
Okay.
Something like that. And what it offers...
Sounds reasonable, yeah.
You have hours.
Hours of gameplay, right?
Definitely. I mean, we did a good weekend on it when it first came out. And we're still playing it nowadays. So, like, I look forward... And it's small.
Is it Dota style first bird's eye view?
Look, you're right, I didn't mention that. No, it's first person.
First person, okay.
It's first person. So people who played Left 4 Dead it's the same. It's a first person shooter kind of FPS. But I mean, what's really cool about it, you'll really enjoy it when it's mainly focused also. Even though I'm a mage, I can't always use my spells because I blow up.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do go around with a sword, and there are these little things. So that's why I haven't talked about the minions that come attacking you. So mainly, anyone who's familiar with Warhammer, you're mainly going up against the Chaos and the Skaven.
Okay.
Chaos are like these human sort of, not exactly undead, but let's say that. And Skaven are little rat demons, kind of rat monsters, going like
like Ratatouille.
They're not exactly chefs.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Unless you are the feast.
Yeah.
And imagine all these little Skaven rats, like half your size, going to kill you, and you're just swinging your sword or whatever, even a mace. It feels so satisfying hitting each one of them, swiping through.
Yeah.
The sound is so satisfying, like die. Even in the middle of just
exactly what you need after a hard day's work.
Bloody right. And you're just surrounded by the constant sounds of and that's all you're going to hear in Vermintide. What makes Vermintide also annoying is like, so that's the main situation you're going to find yourself as you play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Massive mobs rushing into you, hoping to stay alive because they're definitely going to hurt you. There is a block and dodge mechanic, actually, which the blocking is a godsend in that game. Because there is, apart from these mobs, you're going to be facing these mini bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're kind of the special units.
Yeah.
And everyone who's played.
Yeah, that's the dog.
That is a dog.
Teething problems. Yeah.
One enemy that I've really, really despise at the moment is the Bile Troll. The Bile Troll is like this massive monster that does incredible amount of damage and focuses a lot on puking and doing damage over time.
Same as Neo. With those undead things.
The zombie puking
puke
on my face.
You and then,
There's something about
poison
puking
you.
in each other's faces we're noticing as a recurrent thing.
Yeah. Sick bastards. Game developers, sick bastards.
You have certain fetishes.
Yeah.
And what the Bytroll we had this one moment where it's similar to the bat thing that you had in Neo.
Throws you
So
off
the
a
bats,
cliff.
exactly. We just went around. This thing spawns. Not the situations in a level are never the same. Like this guy can spawn there, or a guy will spawn further up in a different place. But he ended up spawning round the corner of this cliff. So as soon as we went around, plume! It just hits 3 of us off this cliff, and then you don't die immediately in Vermintide. What happens is you have a scene of you grabbing onto the edge of the cliff.
Okay.
Like, help me! Help me! And just no one... the guy who wasn't off the cliff died by being surrounded. He couldn't get to us or anything. He didn't have a chance. And just we lost the game just like that. So first you're having an incredible moment. You go around the corner.
You're down shit creek.
Exactly. And Vermintide throws a lot of those moments at you. And there are a lot of these unique units that just fuck you up instantly. Recently I was watching a clip of Twitch where a team lost because there is one mage, kind of like a storm. I don't know if it's called a storm fiend, I forgot exactly. But its main focus is it casts a whirlwind at you guys, kind of. And a bunch of them just got caught in this whirlwind, and again, they were thrown off at the edge of a cliff or the edge of the map.
Easy.
So they're all stuck like, brilliant, yay, we're doing so well. I mean, not everyone can throw you off the edge of a cliff.
Yes,
At least,
definitely.
Vermintide aren't that much of an asshole.
Yeah.
But when that happens, it's so bloody pissing off. Fucking hell.
Sounds good. You're gonna make me try it.
Yeah,
Sounds
like
really good.
once we get you up with that laptop, we'll definitely try it. Because I want to try one of the other classes. There are 5 people actually. There are 5 heroes in the game, and each one has like 3 classes or 3 jobs.
Yeah.
They have. For example, Sienna being the mage. I forgot what the first one was called already. The second job that you unlock is the Pyromancer. And they have like 2 abilities that are unique, plus her ultimate attack will be different.
Yeah.
The first job, for example, I know is one of her passive abilities, something about her overcharge cooling down faster if you don't do anything within like a 6-second thing. And her ultimate is you point at a specific spot and you just do a flame path from where you were up to that point.
Okay.
And the one that I'm using now, the Pyromancer, her second job, for example, she's more crit focused. Like the more you have the more you're doing stuff and this stack or this counter goes up, you have a higher chance of doing critical damage. So if you do like a build based on critical damage, it's brilliant. And her ultimate attack is that it doesn't really satisfy me that much, but it's basically she throws this fireball. It's seeking in the beginning, so it actually goes to find someone, and then it bounces off the walls.
Okay.
But it doesn't feel like it always does something. Like, look at this massive army of Skaven in front of me. Wow, you only killed 3, thank you. Like, this is not what I need at the moment.
Anticlimactic.
That's true.
Alright.
So, no, it makes you want to try the other people. So, like, all of a sudden, you just invited a new friend to play. I can try this one. You start the game from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it keeps the level of that hero for you.
Okay.
So, if you try, for example, the Ranger, then you start at level 1, and then even the items are specific to that person as you go along. No, but it's good fun.
Yeah.
And we had enjoyed doing. Last time we were talking about the co-op of the zombie mode of World War II Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And that was fun together. So if you
enjoyed
enjoyed that,
of fun.
I think you'll have more fun doing Vermintide.
That was a lot of fun. Oh, definitely. I will try that.
That is definitely one of the games that I've been really majorly playing lately. But then, like, some off times, I've been playing Bayonetta a bit on the Switch. That Switch is a godsend. Like, seriously, if anyone is ever considering getting a Switch, just do it now. You're thinking about it. That's already good. Step 2, go buy it.
Yeah, the concept, the concept of the Switch is just, it's way ahead of its time. The fact that you can just, pick up the console and take the actual game you were playing on your TV with you wherever you want.
That's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
I have a trip in April, for example. I'm already excited about the fact that I'm not going to be bored
on the flight. Yeah.
So I don't have a really good power bank for the Switch yet.
But the battery life is quite good for it.
Depends on the game you're playing, from what I've heard. Like, I've heard some people make claims that Zelda, for example, they played between 2.5, 3 hours, I think.
That's still very good. I mean, Zelda's
it's not bad. I mean, that's practically a flight to the UK from here.
Yeah. Definitely.
And even just the fact that, like, after a day work, I don't feel like going on the computer again. I mean, I work as a developer.
Exactly.
So my day is sitting in front of the PC, and then I go and sit on the PC again.
Yeah.
Like, so I just grab the Switch, go on the bed, for example, or couch, and just play something on the Switch.
Exactly.
And lately it's been Bayonetta. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't lucky enough to play the original Bayonetta when it came out. With the Xbox 360 PS3 days.
Yeah.
I saw it a bit at a friend's house, who I'll be mentioning later as a thank you for the graphics or branding. And I did get it for the PC, but then that issue again. It's on the PC and I didn't feel like
spending...
No, I got it. I have it. I just didn't get down to it.
Yeah.
Then I got it for the Switch and I'm playing it on the Switch now.
Exactly.
And it's amazing. You start to ask yourself, like, I'm playing on this tablet. It's not using any graphic chipset out of this world. It already exists on some Android tablets, like the Pixel tablet. But it's a game that we used to play on the PS3, and now I have it in my hands and I can keep playing it, and it's just good bloody fun. I love Bayonetta as the satire of the whole game.
Bloom. That wasn't me. That was you.
No, it wasn't me.
It was you. It was your mobile.
And it's satisfying. Like, Bayonetta's combat, if anyone has, I'm sorry to say, if I can compare this to Devil May Cry. I'm sorry to everyone who loves Devil May Cry, but I think Bayonetta's combat is much better. There's something extremely satisfying about it, the pounding of the enemies, and the protagonist is very sexy, femme fatale kind of style.
Yes.
And she used that sexiness also as kind of her fighting style. So it's hilarious, but at the same time, like when she's just bashing her foot onto an enemy's face, like, shut up, die. And you're just mashing that button. It's brilliant. And just keeps going like that. And the level of exaggeration of the bosses just covering your screen. And you're like, okay, how am I going to kill this guy now? It's a must, and I'm also super glad I haven't gotten down to playing the 2 yet, because the 2 had come out on the Wii U. Now I didn't get a Wii U. Actually, the only Nintendo console before the Switch that I had was the 3DS DS.
Okay.
I didn't have the Wii. The Wii were mainly playing it at a friend's house.
I have the Wii. I didn't use it for any sort of game.
That's why I didn't know I actually had the Wii, actually.
I have the Wii. It's but we just play, the Olympics stuff, the bowling, and the boxing, and
the bowling, and stuff, it was the beginning of the TVs being lost.
Because it was the first sort of console you get, it had these motion controls. It was, for its time, It was good. It was good fun. But You know, it doesn't. It's not gaming in my book. My books.
Depends on which game, and then you just didn't get maybe the games that.
No, exactly. No, that's why. No, that's why. That's why. But for example,
I will play bowling for the rest of my life.
No, thinking about it, to be honest, I did play Mario Galaxy on it.
Was there?
And it's quite fun. I mean, you can give one of the nunchucks to a second player, and he just controls this star and picks up all the stars for you as you move around with Mario. You can do that in Mario
Odyssey also.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that, like, little co-op, have a friend of yours join in while you're both watching the game.
No, Mario Galaxy, Mario, you just mentioned it, not Galaxy.
Odyssey of the Switch.
Odyssey, the one that just came out. It's brilliant.
Yes.
It's brilliant. I loved it. It is. It's one of those never dying games. It's a legendary game.
And just good, simple fun.
Yeah, exactly. Still, I don't understand why they're still using subtitles. You know, you get these small monsters going. Oh, Mario, it's you. I have seen Princess Peach. So just put a voice.
I have just explained
to
you the theory of relativity or something.
Just shut up, my lazy. my lazy self, and just make me listen to it. Don't make me read it.
You are listening to it.
That's it. No, it was good fun. It was very good fun.
I just love that Nintendo are still making these really simple games and simple, clean fun.
Exactly.
And also, to be honest, their games have been the sort of no bullshit comes with this package.
You don't have to buy. Though you do in Mario Odyssey, you do get to. You can not need to, but you can buy certain.
But that's just something you collect in the game.
Aesthetics.
It's part of the unlocking, at least something that we used to do in previous games.
Exactly.
It's not like some.
No, it's not like here.
Shadow of War, where
56...
the orcs are loot boxes,
yes.
Like in a single player game, loot boxes.
It's not that, like pay €56 for a game, but you need to pay another €20 to actually unlock certain abilities that will allow you to play the levelers. Yeah. Upcoming games, March. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Now the fanboy in me is gonna come out.
Yes, there is one game on the 27th,
which will absolutely.
I don't think I'm going to see David for quite a while when this comes out.
I really don't have much of a social life, but if I did, I would say bye social life. And that would be Far Cry. I'm looking forward so much to it. The trailers have been amazing. And the last trailer, I think a trailer came out some few weeks ago. The last trailer came out, and it looks beautiful. I mean, I was very disappointed with the previous one, with the previous Far Cry. Yeah, where you were not just Primal, a caveman. Sorry.
That's Primal.
Primal. No, the Primal, not 4. No, not the 4. 4 was great. The 4 was amazing. The 4 was the one where you're in somewhere in the Philippines or something. Right? Yeah. No, that was really good. The things that Far Cry have, in my opinion, is that they create these mega villains, which you love to hate, but at the same time, I mean, I fell in love with. I played all the Far Cries, but I became a fanboy with Far Cry 3, where you're this. The story was you were this group of 20-year-olds. You go to Thailand. You go on a skydive, and you just get lost, and you get lost on this pirate island, and there was this villain, which I can't remember the name, but I remember.
Van.
Sorry.
No, not Van.
Vlad Vald. No, I don't.
This great villain whose name
I can't remember the name, but I remember him saying, and it was in the trailer. And it was
definition of insanity. I remember the trailer kind of like.
That's so amazing. It's just this definition.
I was
what the definition is? Yeah. And he's such a good villain. You just love to hate him. That's what I'm saying. And Far Cry managed to do it in all their games. And apparently now in Far Cry 5, you get this extreme religious priest type guy. And they've taken over a town somewhere in America. And you just basically try to clean them out. And the trailers is that you make friends. You get a guy with an airplane, another sniper expert. You get the animals. You get these pets, the bears, the same like you had for Primal.
Okay.
You could control bears, and you get dogs as help. It's just and it has one of the best things in my opinion you can have,
which is
the co-op. To me, co-op in
that's
Far
multiplayer.
Cry. Yeah, no, I don't believe the whole campaign is multiplayer.
So what's the co-op part that you?
The co-op part is when you unlock. You can invite.
The allies.
Yeah. No, not the allies.
No.
When you know how the map is it's full of mist, and once you've unlocked a map in previous Far Cries, it would be, for example, you go up a radio tower.
Yes, you flip a switch. The famous Ubisoft towers.
Exactly. You flip a switch and it opens up the area, and in the area you get these different missions or different camps to unlock. And you can do that co-op. You can do that. You invite a friend, and it's just a blast. It is an absolute blast. We did it with me and a friend of mine, John. You know him. We did that for Far Cry 4, and we tons of.
So this mechanic was already in 4.
Yes. It's in the 4 and it's in the 3 as well. I believe it's in the 3, so I might be mistaken, but it's in the 4 for sure, and it's amazing. I'm a big fan, and I'm just can't wait for.
He's been saying about the bloody release
next
date.
Few days to go by, yeah.
And I will lose him.
Yeah.
So other games that we noticed that are coming out this month is tomorrow. Sea of Thieves, actually.
Sea of Thieves tomorrow.
I know it's already out in Australia because I saw some people already downloading it. Or if not, it was preloading. But yes, that's tomorrow.
That's.
I know someone like my brother will be looking forward to it if you're into this kind of sandbox.
Yeah.
Make your own adventure game.
I described it first time I saw it. I described it as a Fortnite but pirate themed. The bastard child of Fortnite and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Because you're not that wrong. The art style isn't
it's
too
quite
off.
Cartoonish. Yeah. Looks very nice.
But I mean, I tried this game. It was still in its infancy back at Gamescom 2016.
Okay.
And this guy just brings us up to this boat, and it's like, okay, we're going to sail this boat together. We're going to sing our sea shanties, and we're going to shoot at that enemy ship in front of us. But it was one of these maker adventure kind of things, and I mean, to be honest, I'm not really into that because I like something kind of linearish.
It gives you a scope to.
I'm pretty sure it might be good, and it's been a while since the company Rare has gotten out something good. So we'll see, but I think it's gonna get some good reviews. Anyway, 23rd March. Then there's also Ni no Kuni 2, which is a Japanese RPG that the first one was a hit because it was a beautiful story, the art style was beautiful. I think it's very reminiscent of, if anyone's seen the films of Studio Ghibli, you're going to see the style. And I don't think I have chance actually to play Ni no Kuni 2 because I'm trying to fit in a schedule for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Switch. Too many JRPGs all of a sudden coming out, and especially on PC. What the hell happened? But now we'll see.
You'll have to strategically work out your time to play these games.
So, this schedule is filled in for sleep. We don't need sleep.
No, you don't need sleep. Just cut down the time you need for sleep, like 2 hours a day. It's enough.
Exactly. I mean, what other things did we see that kind of tickled our fancy that other people might notice? I know that there was Detective Pikachu coming out on the 3DS.
Oh, Christ.
Yes. I want to hear Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu.
Well, it's Ryan Reynolds who actually does the voiceover of
Before
Pikachu.
It was going to be Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
But then they changed it to Ryan Reynolds.
So it's not just Pikachu going, Pika. It's him actually talking.
Actually speaking English.
Christ. Okay.
But come on, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool talking as Pikachu.
Exactly.
Christ.
It's bloody brilliant. I know what I'm going to be watching on YouTube. And there was a game you picked out because you said it reminded you of This War of Mine.
Yeah, This War of Mine, which is...
It's called Long Gone Days. It looks like a game with an RPG mechanic, JRPG mechanic, pixelated graphics. But the story behind it looks quite interesting since it's wartime.
Exactly. So, and that's why it reminded me a lot of This War of Mine.
Mm-hmm.
I played This War of Mine, I think it was mid last year.
It's not that same survival kind of mechanic, but it's the war story still.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's for 29th March.
And then we're into April, but should we discuss April now?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. I mean, we've already done a really shit job at our first
episode. Next episode. Yeah.
Hopefully we improve our recording equipment and nothing fucked up during this recording.
This is the very base. It only gets
I'm
better.
really scared of playing back this whole thing, and maybe I find some hiccup in
We've also gone over the time.
How the fuck did we talk over 1 hour?
This should have been a 45-minute episode, but we'll see how
we'll get better by time.
Yeah.
And also at the same time I say a lot of Hopefully I improve by then.
So I think that brings us to the end of the first episode. Now the general idea would be to release episodes every fortnight. So hopefully
every 2 weeks we're hoping. Fortnight. So the plan is, we're two people who are very busy, so we can't really release an episode once every week because I can assure you we wouldn't have gotten in any playtime.
No, definitely not. But but the episodes will be we'll try and
we want to shorten them, like maybe just fit in what we wanted to say.
We'll call this the first episode special.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's unique for you guys.
Yeah. We will be making up the episodes as we go along throughout the weeks. We'll see what events there are going on even locally here in Malta. Hopefully
for anyone outside of Malta, we're from Malta, guys.
Yeah. And anyone from Malta who's listening and thinks they can contribute, feel free.
That is a plan that we have also as time goes by. We want to invite someone as with our talks or discussions, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not going to be just us two blabbing like a bunch of twats. So.
I think not just the F word, T word. But yeah, basically local events, games that are coming out. I'm dying to talk about games that are coming out next year. There are a few games that I'm really excited about, and so is Will. But that's mainly we'll just be chill and see how this journey goes along. If you let us know what you think about the episodes, and if you have any ideas, just let us know in the comments. We should have Facebook. We do also have Instagram. The episodes will be available for download on SoundCloud. Exactly. For now, we're mainly focusing on SoundCloud. We want to organize this to be on iTunes too. Exactly. Yes. And even on YouTube also. On YouTube. So if anyone wants to listen on YouTube, they can find us there. Yes. The actual name of the episodes would be Game Defined. And as we just said, we're on all the social media. So feel free to give us a follow or subscribe if you're listening to this on YouTube. And let us know what you think.
Exactly.
And if you have
You
any
can shit
ideas
on
on
us.
topics or things you want us to discuss, it's all gaming related, so it's not really just games. Even conferences that have gone around, devices, VR. We'll most probably do an episode about VR. But we'll see as we go along.
I should give you my Samsung VR and just...
Or maybe I'll afford the PlayStation VR, you never know.
Actually, I'm wondering what's been going on lately with the PSVR. I haven't heard much about it.
Neither have I.
We should see what's happening or something.
And we might also on YouTube, but that's definitely in the future, make some sort of
we
gameplay.
have some Let's Play videos in mind. We still don't know when to do them, how to do them, or whatever. But
so it's a learning process for us as well.
We have ideas in mind.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll hope that you stick around for our journey, as maybe we get better at actually talking and stuff.
Not going.
God, I'm terrible.
Weirdo.
And anyway,
that's it.
That's it for Game Defined episode 1. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
And also, I'll use this moment to thank also our friend Jean-Luc Portelli, who helped us with our branding.
Yes.
He had to endure our pain of questions and requests.
And change this, change that.
Please change that.
No, we want that in green, we want that in orange and yellow. No, blue, no. Yeah, but shout out to John. Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Excellent work.
That's it. Let's switch off. Switch off.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.